Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me, on behalf of the committee, first of all, thank you all for coming in your numbers. Thank you, and I apologize once again for the late startup. We are missing some of our members, two key members. The minority leader, Haruna, isn't here with us because the appointments committee is sitting, and Mr. Huluyaya, who unfortunately is bereaved and called me to say he was in Tamale and couldn't come. And Nilati Vanderpoel, who also couldn't come. Mr. Samson Ahi, also a member of the committee who couldn't come. Otherwise, we are here in our fullness. We invited you here this afternoon to interact with you. Although the matters that the committee is investigating are strictly matters internal to the party, we happen to be a party that believes in all the processes for deepening our democracy, and therefore we thought that we would interact with you to give you the opportunity to, well, to avail ourselves the opportunity to let you know that the committee has started working. We have held a number of preparatory meetings and agreed on the modalities for executing our mandate, the modalities for our work. Have agreed on precisely how we're going to be conducting our review, including, among other things, sort of zoning the country and identifying areas where we would congregate and convey people to central points, since we are not going to be able, for reasons of sheer practicality and finance, no less, to go everywhere. So that's a very important first step, which we have accomplished, and will shortly be embarking on these visits. We propose to start in Greater Accra. We are here. It's convenient to do so, and will hopefully, about next week or so, start in Medina, and then roll out the program of visits and consultations covering the rest of the country. So it is not a phantom committee. It is real. We have met, we've started work, and as you can see, the membership of the committee is fairly full and covers the range of experiences and so on that we think we need as a committee to do a good job. The party isn't contesting the outcome of the elections and doesn't propose to go on that road at all. No, the party, as you know, accepted the results of the elections and through that enabled a smooth transition from the outgone government to the new government. But you will recall that in the wake of the electoral outcome, a number of issues appeared to have remained unresolved. I mean, even the Electoral Commission itself continued to do its collations and so on, and I think announced the outcome a few weeks or so after the election. You recall, for instance, that there were figures being bandied about as regards the magnitude of the size of the votes and so on that had gone, that the ruling party had won by, and so on. All those were clarified following the conclusion of the Electoral Commission's work, which came after the election results were accepted and so on. So, no, we are not going to, as it were, challenge the outcome of the elections, or that is not what the talk of validation there is about. It is simply, first of all, to avail ourselves of the final conclusions that have since come out from the Electoral Commission and any others that were ongoing, and simply affirm that this is what happened, and let the matter rest, so that if there were any of our members who were harboring any concerns, perhaps that there were any issues there, they would be, they would derive some comfort from this affirmation. So that's it. This is not reopening anything. It is not preparing to go to court. The results were accepted. The party stands by those, and so that's the end of the matter. We are going to be speaking, consulting with, first, the leadership of our party, including the executives at all levels. And then we would be speaking, as the main, I think, concern we would be having would be to ensure that we give our party rank and file, our members and our supporters of the party, the opportunity to air their views. The core mandate of the committee is to first establish the facts about how the election was conducted from our point of view, how party structures worked, how party functionaries worked, how effective they were, whether and to what extent our messaging connected with those of our party and their expectations, and things like that. So that's mainly what we'll be seeking to do in the discussions and so on that we'll be having with our members. Are we going to grant all Ghanaians the opportunity to tell us how they felt? I wish we could. As I said, this is really an internal family matter. We have heard many views from many Ghanaians already. We don't intend in this exercise to provide an opportunity for Ghanaians at large to tell us what they thought about election. Our remit would be essentially to give our party members, our party elders, our functionaries and operatives, our executives at all levels, the opportunity to tell us what they experienced and what they thought went wrong, as well as what they thought went right, so that in the end, we'll be drawing lessons for correcting what went wrong and building on the strengths that were evident in this experience. We were required by our mandate to deliver a report in 90 days from the time we started work, which would have been about the 17th, remind me if I'm wrong, about the 17th of January. So we will aim to finish our work and present our report in 90 days. Will we have regular briefings, interactions with you throughout the course of the 90 days? I don't think so. I think that we would, at the end of our work, more than likely have some interaction with you, where we'll give you the opportunity to discuss with us matters that impinge on public policy and the national interest, not so much those that affect our internal workings as a party. But I think it will be, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of places to go to, quite a bit of work to do. I think it will be impractical for us to have regular briefings with you as we go along. But I assure you that we will at the end of our work. Yes, there are many people, as you said, that feel that there's no need for a committee, that all this is much ado about nothing, as you put it. There are some that believe that we know what caused the NDC's defeat already. Well, I sympathize with those sentiments, but you know, rather than go by everybody's intuition, I mean, when a building is gutted by fire, I can say that the fire was caused by oxygen supporting combustion. And I'll be technically correct. But it won't tell you anything, not everything about why the fire happened. So yes, a lot of people have their own ideas about why the party lost. But rather than go by a multitude of intuitions, some of which may be pretty educated and maybe even right, we thought it was important to do a rigorous scientific review, assemble these views and opinions, analyze them, synthesize them, identify which ones are dominant and recurring, so that we can have a more reliable rendition of the causes of the party's defeat and provide a more reliable basis for lesson learning. All right? Now, it is not the first time we've done this. I don't believe that there's any serious party anywhere in the world which, after such a terrible loss, will not conduct an internal review. Have we done it before? Yes, we have. I believe that even the MPP would have. We have done one before. I believe it was chaired by Dr. Obeda Samoa. So it is not a new thing we are doing. I think that it has a logic that is self-evident. We need to understand what happens deeply and not just intuitively. Our mandate is not at all to get into anything that is executive. The party has its structures, they will deal with the matters as appropriate. Our mandate is quite simply to assemble the facts, to review what happened, and make some recommendations of our own that are based on the findings that we made, and leave this with the party structures to deal with. Of course, one of the reasons why we are doing this is to understand what happened, in a bit to avoid the onset of finger pointing and the blame game. To put it simply, recriminations. You caused it, you caused that, and so on. To avoid that, we need to avoid that. And in seeking to avoid that by conducting a rigorous and scientific review, we are bidding to unite the party. If we didn't do that and allowed party members to go after each other, we will be destroying the party. So to that extent, doing this exercise, of course, will have the intended consequence of helping us unite the party around our goals, around our mission as a Social Democratic Party, and have the party members focus on these fundamental things as opposed to tearing at one another. Some things are already clear, you said. Obviously, where we fielded two NDC-leaning candidates instead of one, you could argue that if you put those together, and if you did, and they outnumbered, the other party, you would say that, well, if we didn't put two together, we would have won. Now, the purpose, well, that would be clear enough in that particular area that you spoke about. The review would be looking at the incidence of such instances, okay, to understand the regularity or trend or pattern, and then draw the necessary conclusions from it. If we find that in many areas we did that and the outcome was negative, well, we will draw the necessary conclusions from it and make the necessary recommendations on it. It doesn't vitiate the need for a review. I think, on the contrary, it probably strengthens it. Now, financing. Were you suggesting that you have some largesse that you'd like to make available to us? You asked particularly whether we intend and will accept financing from outside sources. Well, we are, first of all, going to be running this enterprise on a shoestring budget. We will deal with the resources that we have as a party. And all the committee members have consented to make sacrifices. We are not doing this in expectation of any allowances. If we must travel, and to the fullest extent possible, we'll use our own vehicles. But of course, we can't do this all on our own. We will use the little financial support we get from the party sources to supplement what we can do through our own efforts. I imagine, and I don't know what the rules are, maybe my party chairman is in here, but within the rules of our party funding sources, if there are party members that wish to provide resources for, in support of our work, then provided the party structures approve that this can be done, we will, of course, do that. But we will not be taking money from outsiders and the like donors just for the sake of it. No. If there are party members outside the country that wish to support the work of the committee once they know you've started work, I imagine, once again, subject to what the party executives consider appropriate, I would imagine that this will perhaps be welcome. Now, you also did say that there are many, many members of the party, there are some, perhaps many of the party members, who feel particularly aggrieved by some occurrences or some conduct of this or that executive, and already feel, and I have to say in all honesty, that even in our brief interactions with a number of our party members, there have been that occasion venting of anger, yes. And so, yes, there may very well be some who feel that heads must roll, that all the party executives must go, or that some must go. We are not in the business, in that sort of business. If we go round and we find that out of 300 party executives, 200 of them, weeks before the election and throughout the election, were found to be incapacitated and drunk, well, we will report that and let the party executives take the necessary decisions on what happens to party functionaries and executives who, instead of working, are habitually drunk. So we will not be saying that hair should roll. We'll report the facts, its implications for the smooth functioning of the party, and let the party executives at the highest level take the decision. But we'll try as much as possible to stay away from recriminations. We'll be inviting mainly factual and hopefully honest views so that we can unite the party rather than make this the occasion for further division. The implications of this for the party going forward, I think, are to some extent obvious. To the extent that our work yields evidentiary information on the basis of which the party can take corrective measures, it will make the party stronger going forward. That's what we are hoping would happen, which is why we are not interested in recriminations, but in assembling the facts and synthesizing them and presenting the party executives with a mass of information that is reliable and can be the basis for decision making. Our founder, who obviously is a very important figure in our party, yes, you were saying has expressed some views, and are we going to consult him? Yes, absolutely. It will be critical for us to consult with the founder. He is the founder of our party. And so we will be consulting the founder. Absolutely, we must. As well as the Council of Elders of our party. And then, as I indicated, even the National Executive Committee that appointed us, we will consult. Even the Functional Executive Committee, we will consult. In fact, we are beginning to schedule the dates for those consultations. So yes, we will. What is the way forward? The way forward is for the party to conduct a full, rigorous, and honest review of the factors that led to our defeat, rather than go by everybody's intuition, to ward off recriminations and finger-pointing and name-calling that we know will tear the party apart. That is the way forward.